Hey guys, welcome back to Running the Wolves. I'm here with Parker Stinson and Sid Vaughan from Hudson Elite, and today we have fan Q&A. So guys, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Glad to be back.
Yeah, Parker's a returner on here. The other videos almost had 1,000 views actually.
That's right. Breaking records out here.
All right, so today what we're gonna do is we got fan DMs from viewers, and we're gonna ask those today. So this is gonna be for you guys. I'll probably throw in a few questions myself, but without further ado, so the first question is from Antonio Potter 00. How many days a week do you guys go hard in workouts?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say our most intense workouts usually Tuesday, Friday, unless the schedule gets messed up from just throwing off a little bit from a race or something.
Yeah.
And then we generally like to push our long run on Sundays as well. So I'd say we have about 3 hard days, and then if we're really feeling good, our midweek long run, which is usually Wednesday, we kind of push the back half of that as well. Yeah. So I'd say we're from 2 to sometimes even 4, just depending on how it is. But the medium long run's nothing too crazy. It's just kind of getting the turnover there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we've got 2 really hard days, Tuesday and Friday. And we always like to squeeze Sunday down pretty good. Sometimes we'll go up to Magnolia Road. You can't not run hard there. And then, we like to get going at the end. And then, we do have that Wednesday run, and Brad's always, we're always supposed to make it moderate, but very few people ever can manage that, and they don't usually live to tell the tale afterwards either. So
yeah.
But just probably Tuesday and Friday is about, I would say, like the hardest days for sure.
So do you guys train on a 7-day cycle or a 9-day cycle?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'd be open to trying a different cycle like that. I've seen. I think it's cool too when you're getting older to try something like that. Because I think if I understand it correctly, it allows you to get a little more recovery.
Yeah.
And not getting so stuck on. Because you probably don't need to do a long run like every week, like most people seem to think you do. So that'd be something fun to try, I think, down the road if you had someone who understood that cycle well enough.
Yeah, I actually, now coming up from injury, did 7.5 months, going on 8.5. Now I'm finally injury free. I've moved to a 9-day cycle. It's nice. I feel a lot looser on workout days than I was before with having 2 days rest or whatever. I have an extra day, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, I would say the hardest part of our training, in my mind, is we do a hard Sunday long run, harder, and then we come back Monday with a double and, like, hill sprints and strides, and then we've got a workout Tuesday and a double, hard workout usually, and then you've got to come back and do another longer run on Wednesday.
Ooh.
And, like you said, there's barely any recovery in there, so with a 9-day cycle, that'd be sweet. That was nice.
Yeah. Well, now it makes sense why the Wednesday moderate run doesn't. No one ever lives to tell the tale of that.
Yeah. No one. Yeah. I'm just happy if I get the mileage in on that one, honestly.
Yeah. Exactly. So now, next question from Seabass 5K. How have your eating and sleeping habits changed since college?
Go ahead.
So for me, I stayed on my meal plan for all 5 years I was in school. I have like unlimited access to food all the time. So having to cook, I still eat a ton, but I'd say maybe my snacking is like kind of increased as opposed to like bigger meals.
Yeah.
Obviously I still have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But whenever I was on that meal plan, like anytime I was hungry, I'd just like stop in because I lived like right next to campus.
Yeah.
And I, eat something a little bit more than a snack sometimes. Yeah, so having to cook has changed that a little bit, just really stick to the 3 main meals and then just snacks throughout the day.
Yeah. Parker?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say at first, it's hard when you come out of college because I remember I was probably running my best when I would barely get my morning run in and barely get in any sort of breakfast, and then you'd go straight to class. And then in between your classes, you would try to grab some coffee and like something, and still I'd be 5 minutes late to class, like grabbing that food, and you sit in there and eat it, and then now it's time to go work out, at 2 p.m. at Hayward Field or something after. So I just felt like you were so busy that it was didn't even realize like how little you were eating because like you always have to be somewhere. And then after college, I think you got to be careful because if you don't have a part-time job or you're not working or something, you know, unless you're running like 140 miles a week or something, you have a lot of downtime in between running, and I feel like a lot of people, you know, can eat maybe more than they were in college.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so
mindful.
Yeah, and then next question from Brady Z123: what's your all-time favorite movie?
That's such a hard question out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I kind of have like a toss up. It's hard for me to pick between the two. So I'd say my favorite kind of like more serious movie would be Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite movie kind of tied with that is the comedy Superbad.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. So those are my two favorites.
Favorite movie. Oh man, I feel like I can't even. I don't know. I can't think of one, but I would just say I like a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio movies. All of those seem really good. Like I really like Shutter Island. You know, Inception was cool. Catch Me If You Can. That has Christopher Walken in it too. So I'm a big fan of a lot of his movies, I would say.
Yeah. He's a good actor. Never wins any awards, but.
Yeah, well, the one he won the award on Revenant was like, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an alright movie.
It was alright to me, but
I agree.
Really fun.
Right now, man. I didn't think I was ever gonna finish it.
I just love like all the memes or whatever they had. It was like the bear.
Yeah.
It was like the bear. It was like they're all saying the bear should have won. The award, so that was funny.
And then next question from Jake_Trevino. Is a sub 60 half goal for you guys realistic?
I mean, I'm still getting adapted to these higher distances. Sub 60 is pretty insane for me. I mean, especially, considering my PR right now is 64 minutes. But I mean, anything's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, especially those events, I feel like when you get on the right course and the right like tailwind and all that crazy stuff, like I mean, you saw at World Half Champs, Jeffrey ran 13:01 5K at the end by himself, and then still had another K to go after that. Even.
Yeah.
And it's just like crazy things can happen in those kind of situations, but I don't know. I would never put limits on anything, but I've got a lot of things I'd like to do and steps before I get there. So just breaking at 62 would be nice.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of performances that look like I've broken 62 with people I've beaten and how I've competed and stuff, but I've never had like the right day and felt good and made the most of it. So I've got a long ways to go till sub 60. So.
Yeah, you and I both.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still at like 80 minutes, so.
Yeah, it's a bit longer for sure.
Yeah, so, and then your girl Mads asks, what advice would you give to a hopeful elite coming from an NAIA school?
I think I'd be going for, Sid's, I was in such a different situation, and I had a lot of success even when I was like 12 years old. I was getting second and third at, junior nationals or whatever that stuff was, and it was, good in high school and then to Oregon and stuff. So, but I think Sid can give a better answer to that just because, even from what I've seen, I didn't know who Sid was, but he came out here and I watched a workout or two and I was just like, I think this guy has something about him that I think he can be. I was like, I don't know what he's been doing the last 6 years, like why he's not good, but like I think he can be really good.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament. Like there's so many people seem to get so much better after college, and there's not that's one way to do it. So I'd be interested to see what Sid say his transition's been like.
Yeah, college, I started out okay, nothing near what Parker was doing or anything. I ran like probably 14:30 my freshman year, right around there. And then, I hit a little bit of a slump there for a while, and then got to my 5th year, and I got down to like 29:08, 14:01 for 5K. So, decently fast, but nothing like quite elite.
Yeah.
but I kind of felt like I still had a lot to give, and I've been running for so long that like I wanted to really see what I had. So that was kind of a talk I had with my coach at University of Georgia, Patrick Cunniff. I sat down with him one day, kind of after I ran my 29:08, and I was like, hey, do you think it's like a realistic thing for me to, like, do I have any potential that you see in me to even, try and do the next level at all? And he was like, I think that you definitely have some room for improvement. Don't know how far. Like, definitely there's, not near the limit yet. So, that was kind of all I really needed, and I kind of felt it inside of me that, like, it was something I really wanted to do. And so that's how I, got in touch with Brad. But, yeah, just out here and, realizing that, everyone is as good as Parker is, and trying to keep up with him whenever I was out here to begin with was, like, almost impossible because, like, adjusting to elevation, he was so fit. It was really hard, and then you just kind of really got to keep your head in it and realize it's going to be a process. It's not like going to come quickly.
Yeah.
And then, even like now you got to kind of find a way to make things work, especially if you're in a position where you're not coming out of college the fastest. Like I work 30 to 35 hours a week on top of doing 100-mile weeks. So it's not the easiest thing. You kind of got to make yourself ready for that. But if you want it bad enough, you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would jump on that a little bit too. Just for her, it's like you can still improve so much for so long, like after college, and maybe that college wasn't the right situation for you, or maybe you were distracted and really into your school, which is great, But like when you get to our age, you just realize you only have a few more years left to really like see what you can do. So I think someone could get really good after college. They just really you got to be honest with yourself and say, hey, like, is this something I want to do, and am I willing to work for it? And I think you would improve a lot. It seems like a lot of people are running really well after college these days. That maybe you wouldn't expect. So
exactly. So the next one is Ruari 777, I think. Your hardest workout you guys have ever run?
Oh man, I don't know. See, that's such a hard question because it's like some hardest workouts would also be really awesome workouts, like stuff you'd want to brag about, and then there's other workouts that it's like that they were really hard and brutal, but nothing. I mean, they're so bad. I'm trying to think. I was actually just talking to someone about this the other day. I'd say a lot of the marathon stuff I did with Brad was pretty ridiculous, really hard, and it was exciting because it took a long time, but every time we tried one again, I did seem to get better. I just learned how to do it. But it's hard to explain, but one we did was something like 5 miles, 5 miles at like 6:30-ish pace, nothing crazy. But then after that, you only had like 8 minutes, you change into your flats, and then we did 5 times 3K at like half marathon pace, and then 1K at 6 minute 5:45 pace. And then when we were done with that, we had like 8 minutes and then change into our shoes and run another 5 miles. And like that was probably the only time in practice that I felt like CIM, because I had to walk like 3 or 4 times on that cool down, and it was just crazy because you're going to be tired, and then you do the 5 times 3K, and they were moving, and you're just like, you're putting everything into that, and then you don't have a mile cool down or a 2 mile cool down, you're just so shot, and you have to keep moving, and that was pretty ridiculous. So that was probably one of my hardest ones I've ever done, something like that.
And then Sid?
So I'd say probably the hardest workout that I've done. So in college, probably the longest tempo I did was maybe like 6 or 7 miles. And with Brad, the tempos are a lot longer distance. Obviously, we're training for longer distance races. So I'd say probably the hardest workout I actually did it with Parker and Luis. We did it, I did 25K, and I think we averaged right around 5:15 pace or so. And that was kind of when things were clicking for me, heading into my first half, the Monterey Bay half. A lot of those longer tempos I just been getting kind of dropped on like every time, and they were all hard, but that 25K was by far the longest one I've ever done. And so just kind of staying committed for 15 and a half miles, like a long time for me. So I'd say that was probably my hardest one, and then probably my worst workout. We do this one called the climb, and we run up this canyon, left-hand canyon, and so it's a 10K for most times. Parker's done 12K a few. Thankfully, I haven't had to, but yeah, every time, I'm just not successful at it. It's like I think you gain 1,000 feet in the 10K or something.
He's like the worst runner on the team every time we do it. He'll go from like his best workout ever to like just like Brad's like driving up behind him, like trying to get him up the hill.
Yeah. So. Been there before. God, there was a workout I did back probably freshman or sophomore year of high school called Guts that was terrible. It was like 3 by mile repeat at goal 5K pace with 3-minute rest, and then run I think 6 by 800 at the same pace with 2-minute rest.
Right.
And then 6 by 400 with 1-minute rest, trying to keep the same pace, and then finish with 10 by 200, just as hard as you can go.
Oh, dude.
200 reps.
I feel like that's just like a workout to see, like
if you're tough.
enough.
Yeah, it's called Guts for the exact reason.
So, what's also hard about these workouts is I think like when you're at altitude, just some days you just really don't have it, and when you don't have it at altitude, things get bad fast. And also the wind's crazy right now, but some of these days we're describing, it's like maybe the pace doesn't sound crazy or this, or that, but it's like it might have been crazy windy that day or something too. It's just like there's things that you have to deal with, like everyone does, obviously, but
yeah,
they can make those long 25K workouts so much harder because like we'll be on like a 5-6 mile loop or that you do 5-6 times, and you're getting that rhythm, you're trying to be smart, whatever, and then you go into this headwind, and all of a sudden you're running 5:15s, feeling good, and they were hard, but like stay cool, and then now you're running an all out like 5:37 or something up into this headwind. So that's always the stuff that like could almost push you over the edge, and then you can't finish the workout and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. The wind is terrible. I was out on a run probably a few weeks ago here, and it was a 26-mile-an-hour headwind.
Yeah.
And on the way back, I felt great. On the way out, I'm like, all right, I'm running like. Mind me here, it's been like 7.5, 8 months since I've been training, so it's pretty slow, just going like 7:30 pace or whatever on the way out. And I come back and I'm like, why is my heart rate like 215?
Yeah. So that always Boulder makes it really interesting on that, because even when it looks like it's a nice day, I don't know, sometimes those things sneak up on you, and it just you're already so close to that line that it's tough.
Exactly. Okay, so the next question from the official Jason, and this actually kind of applies to both of you. I think it was shot for Parker, but Sid, has had the same injury. There was someone named Sam on here Reddit. After your Achilles injury, how long was recovery, and what did you do differently after to avoid re-injury?
Yeah, the recovery was probably like 3 or 4 months after. I was injured for about 3 or 4 months going into it. I wasn't really able to run either. My injury was a little weird because my tendon was pretty good most of the time, so they removed the sheath. So the biggest thing I did was get the surgery. Honestly, that because once they fixed the problem, I didn't have to do much. Although it's pretty evasive surgery. I got a big old scar. So then my problem was how traumatic that was on my body, and my ankle wasn't working right. So just surrounded myself with a lot of. You got to find a doctor or a PT or just like one person that you really trust and you got to keep seeing them, because they're going to get invested and they're going to want to see you through. But yeah, there were, even after surgery, even after 2-3 months, there was a lot of days, even now it's been over a year, there's days it just doesn't feel good, and I'm like, oh man, like I wonder if today is the day, like it's going to be injured again, and it's not. So stuff I do differently, I used to get massage once a week for an hour. Not that anymore. I get massage twice a week for 30 minutes, just because I don't really need a lot of areas. I just know I've got spots that are wrong, that don't work right. And so seeing a guy for 30 minutes, Marcus Allen Hill actually, seeing him for 30 minutes twice a week, we just hit the same stuff and make sure everything's functioning right. And I think that's been huge because, I obviously had imbalances that led to the surgery, and now it's just trying to make sure that they don't ever get too messed up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Sid, I know you had a few operations you had said.
Yeah, my condition was like a little bit weird. I was actually born with this kind of weird clot of blood vessels around my tendon. So it's a little different because like mine was just I couldn't run pain free just because those tendons were, those blood vessels wrapped around my Achilles tendon.
Ooh.
And so I didn't actually have to have anything done for my tendons. It was more so just trying to remove that clot.
Yeah.
So like, I never had to do anything to like rehab or anything, just kind of let my body recover from the surgery.
Yeah.
And so like now I still have like my last surgery I actually had in Denver, ironically, just down the road, was not quite as invasive as the first two, where they actually like kind of cut my my leg open and tried to remove those blood vessels out and everything and veins.
Yeah.
But the last one was just a bunch of ethanol injections from behind my knee actually down to my heel,
Mm-hmm.
kind of kill off the blood supply to those extra vessels and veins.
Mm-hmm.
And so that seemed to work. So I still actually have it's not like obviously what's the word, like a non-cancerous tumor, benign.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still in my Achilles, but like I just don't have any pain. I just have much scar tissue down there, so I just kind of like any like PT or anything I see, I just tell them to kind of stay away from my scarred area because it's just still sensitive if it gets hit.
Yeah.
But running wise, it doesn't affect me.
All right, well, yeah, that's good. At least that sounds like a pain and a half. Sounds similar to compartment syndrome, which I dealt with a little bit. I didn't end up having surgery because it wasn't severe enough, but it sounds similar.
It was just annoying because it was like, nothing I was doing training-wise was causing it. It was just like I was born with it and couldn't get away from it.
Right.
And so the next question here from the official _Jason. After the Achilles that was the last question. Next question. Casey Evans 34. How much sleep do you need to achieve your maximum potential as a distance runner?
I don't know. How much do you get?
It varies for me, but days I don't work, I definitely nap. So I sleep some more days than others. But I'd say I generally sleep anywhere from, on a normal night where I don't like toss and turn, like 8 hours. I generally sleep from 11 to 7. How I sleep. Sometimes sleep in 7:30, so maybe 8.5 hours for me.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah, I think it's just like you have to have a good routine. I think that's what anyone will tell you. Like, even if you don't want to be getting a ton of sleep one night to make up, and then you get like not much sleep the other nights because it would be better for you to get 6 hours of sleep all the time and just but you're on your routine. Like say you're like, oh, I go to sleep at 11 a.m. 11 p.m. every night and wake up at 5, and that's what you do. And like that's not enough sleep probably, but that would be better than someone like getting 4 and then like, oh, okay, well now I'm gonna go get like 13 or something one night. So you should know. You can tell, but it's like everyone's down to work really hard, but they're not always down to like take the rest day or like take the extra like sleep or take the nap. So that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Just try to do the best you can. But if you're working hard, the best way to not get injured and to make the most of your hard work is to sleep as much as you can. And do the right. Just what to do. Just be smart.
Exactly. So question here from Samuel Maybile. How do you come back from after running and being injured for 8 weeks?
I don't know, just slowly, but I've a little trick that I know they used to do at Oregon for like stress reactions and stuff when you were coming back. They would do like, you heard of this? It's like, they would even, as crazy as it sounds, they would only do like, it's like 20-minute run. It'd be 1 minute run, 1 minute walk. 1 minute run, 1 minute walk. And it's just like, you take off really, that sounds like so pathetic, because you want to get back to running. But the thing is, like, once those start going well, you just take off really fast. So it's just like, you don't ever want to, like, I've heard so many times people coming back from injury, they get another injury because, their old one feels fine. And they're like, oh, I did a 20-minute run. And then, like, the next day they're running 60-minute runs. And it's like, then you just get silly injuries because
you did too much too fast.
You just weren't ready. So, you don't have to do 1 minute run, 1 minute. It depends how bad your injury was, but I've heard, like, I think giving yourself a little breaks at the beginning, like 5-minute run, 1 minute walk, if you do that for 2 or 3 days, like, and then jump up to some runs, I think like you'll take off. You'll end up being in a much better place in 2 weeks than you would if you just jumped back into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and just to kind of add on to that, I feel like a lot of people focus so much, like 8 weeks sounds like a lot of time, not running, whenever you get back into it, you're going to feel like probably like a newborn deer, like you don't know through your legs and your arms, things like that.
Yeah.
And people are so like, oh, I lost so much fitness, all this stuff, and I actually got injured in December. I had a little bursitis flare-up, so I couldn't run for about 5 weeks. And then, I came back pretty fast with my fitness, not super quick, but probably, about 2 months I was getting back in like really good shape.
Yeah.
Because my first few weeks back, I was doing easy, shorter runs, that my coach Brad and I were just in communication with. And then I was also hopping on the bike and getting in the pool and stuff. So I was getting that non-impact work in as well. So I think people mainly focus on like, oh, I missed so much time, I need to hurry back and try and get this fitness in as quick as I can. But as Parker was saying, you try and do that, it's just going to set you back even further.
Yep.
So yeah, that fitness will come back quicker than you think. You don't lose it quite as fast as you think you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
And then next question from Alex Machinpoli. Do you ever just want to quit running and party?
Is that what we did? Is that what you did in college? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why he ran 29:08 in college.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, partying's fun and everything, but I just feel like it'd get old after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can you go out and get really drunk and, hungover, wake up the next day and think it's awesome,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm married, so I don't have to do that anymore. But also, I don't know. I mean, it's like I already did. I mean, I already have a lot of fun stories, and experiences from high school even, and then in college a bit, probably more in high school, honestly. So yeah, it's just kind of like it's fun, but I think once you reach this age and you're partying a lot, people just feel bad because they just feel bad for you. Like, you want to be successful, you don't want to just be like that guy who's still, going to a bar, just partying all the time. So
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like that also just kind of ties back to, if you relating it to running, I mean, if you're as serious about it as we are, like that sleep's super important. So like, what's going to be, more crucial, like you having a good time on Friday night or getting that, 8 hours of sleep you need and then getting up and doing your run and feeling good on it.
Exactly.
I'll say this last thing to help this guy out who clearly wants to party. Just like you don't lose that much fitness and stuff, it's like you just have to plan your stuff the right way. Like, don't party too much, like for 2 months during your big season and like have a great time and run well. Then you'll have something to celebrate, and then you can go crazy for a month. It's like you're not a professional probably, and especially like most really big professionals just get up for track. Like, I'm running like year round to try to run well at these races, make more money, and do these kinds of things. So like I'm kind of on the clock year round. But if I wasn't, it's like I'd go on vacation, and have a great time for a month, and that's the way to do it. So
Exactly.
You got to time it right.
So Tommy Curtin wants to know, who is your other favorite Saucony athlete, and why is it Tommy Curtin?
Right. Oh, so yeah, definitely Tommy Curtin. I don't know, that guy. You got to cheer for a guy. He always runs hard, and he's probably not run well like a few times, but I can't really think of many times that I haven't seen him run well. And he makes fun of himself a lot, and he's really funny. So you got to respect someone who can laugh at themselves and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and I don't know Tommy as well as Parker does, but again, his style is cool. The way he races, he runs hard, like Parker said. But also that flow he used to have, man, that was pretty serious.
I do miss. He used to have. He was Team Big Hair. I think he cut his hair. I think he's getting married too. Also, my wife's name is Ashley. I think his fiance's name is Ashley too. So another reason to be a big fan of Tommy Curtin.
Exactly. And then Smith 6454 for you guys both wants to know your favorite cereal, and for Sid, what were your thoughts on Sac 10 going through your head, racing Sac 10?
So cereal first or Sac 10?
Either way. You can honestly go either way here.
Cereal? Yeah, cereal. I eat a lot of cereal.
I don't know. I just like going to Walmart or somewhere like that because they always have like the big family size and like the most hilarious cereals I've ever seen. You know, it'll be like a marshmallow with like jumping out of the box with like sugar just dripping off of its face. It looks crazy. So I just like going there because they seem like they always have new cereals. So I just kind of like to try all the new ones all the time. But I don't know. I like cinnamon French toast a lot. You know, if I had to choose one, I guess that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I really like honey oat, just like the honey roasted classic for me.
Mhm.
I kind of like more fun cereal. I guess my favorite would be Cookie Crisp.
Ooh, yeah. It's good. So,
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
solid stuff.
Sec 10, what was going through your head the whole time? I'm sure it hurt a lot of it.
Yeah. So I mean, whenever I first talked to Parker actually was the one who told me about the race. I didn't even know about it.
Tell why.
What? Oh yeah. So
There's a pretty good story behind
yeah.
this.
So it's pretty funny. I thankfully it's fixed now, but I part of like half of my front right tooth is fake. Just from it's been chipped off quite a few times.
Yeah.
Growing up with siblings, it gets rough. But
Yes.
So I was sitting at work one day, probably about like maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
So my filling just fell out, and so I don't have any dental insurance, so I needed to get it fixed. And so I was talking to Parker, and I was like, look, so there's a race actually this coming weekend called the Horsetooth Half, and it's in Fort Collins, I believe. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll run that and try and get some prize money to pay for this tooth, because not having dental insurance, I had to put it on my credit card, and it was way more expensive than I thought it'd be. So I need to pay this thing off,
Yeah.
And then Parker's like, oh, here's Sacktown 10, like another opportunity to win some money. He was like, the times last year, he's like, if you look at them, they weren't that fast, and the field wasn't super deep, so maybe you could, get in there and win some money. And I was like, cool, yeah, let me do that. And then, obviously racing in California would be a lot more fun than racing at altitude, so I was like, I'd much rather do that.
Yeah.
And so then the email comes out with the field, and I was like, I sent a screenshot to Parker, and I was like, dude, this thing's actually pretty deep. Like, I was like, I need to, hopefully at least get third to get this money. And so, I sent him the email, but
Oh, you froze for a second. Here. Hold on.
yes.
So, so the field's deep.
Yeah, so the field is deep, but then, kind of all jokes aside, obviously racing is what I trained to do. And so looking at that field and seeing how deep it was, I was like, man, this is a really good opportunity for me to race some big names and really see what I can do. And so after seeing that field, I got pretty hyped up. So this is awesome. My training's been going great. I'm back in shape. And so, I just got in the race, and Brendan Gregg was pushing it pretty hard the first 4 miles. And, I found just from working out with Parker a good bit, sometimes when I'm not feeling the best, like even sitting behind him in workouts, I kind of like to get to the front and I'll feel a little bit better on some of our harder reps and stuff. So at about 5 miles, I just decided, I was like, I'm going to throw some surges at these guys. Because, I was feeling okay, but I'd also raced a 10K the week before, so my legs were a little tired. So I was like, I'm going to throw some surges at these guys and see, kind of what I have, and maybe I'll feel better getting up there. So just kind of kept doing it, and then the pack was dwindling down, got to 3, and then I was like, okay, this is good. It was Matt Lano and then Nico Montanez, and I was like, okay, these guys are really good runners, so it's fun battling out with them. And I kept throwing the surges, and eventually I got a gap, and around 8 miles. And so the last 2, there were a lot of turns on the course. So every time I turned, I'd check and see, how I was doing. But kind of in my head, man, I was like, wow, I'm actually going to do it and win this thing. It's going to be sick. And so I was pretty hyped up whenever I crossed the finish line. My most recent photo on Instagram shows it. I was psyched.
Oh, yeah.
But it was awesome.
Fist pump and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. He was ready to run really fast at Houston, and then got banged up. And it's hard for him to get into a lot of these races that he should be getting into. So, he got this opportunity, and now, he won't be able to get into every race, but he'll definitely be able to get into a lot more. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Give him, all you want is that at this level, you just want chances to make some money and to take some names. So it was really fun getting to see him make the most of it.
Exactly. And then from Tristan_Montalvo, what's your favorite race you've ever been in at any level, and why?
Favorite races we've ever been in?
Yeah.
At
any level, and why?
Ooh. Yeah, that's hard.
World Juniors was pretty cool. I was up there because it was my senior year at high school, and I ran super well my junior year, and then I got injured and sick and all this kind of stuff my senior year. I was going too big, trying to train. I was training really hard, and I didn't have much to show for my senior year, and then I barely qualified for World Juniors again, or first time, but won USA's again. And I've just been running all these 10Ks in high school. Like, they were like in Des Moines, Iowa, and like just these really hard situations to run in. It's really hot. They're usually tactical and stuff. So I went up to Canada, and it was perfect. The race was at like 10 p.m. at World Juniors. It was like, I don't even know, 40 degrees or something, 50. I've been training in the Texas high school. I was training in summer in Texas for it. And so got up there, and all these like insanely fast dudes. And I just got to sit in there, and I ran like 90 seconds faster than I'd ever run.
Oh my God.
I got sixth place. Like, I mean, it was just like, I don't know, it's just the things that you know, when you're at night at your Texas track at like 9 p.m. in the summer and everyone's partying and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking about, you know, when you're there. So it was really cool to get to run so well on such a big stage, and kind of after having a senior year that I didn't have much to show for. So that's up there with one of my favorites.
Yep. And then Sid?
So I went to NCAA cross twice, ran horrible both times, but it was still a cool experience. Just because after, you know, it's something is, you know, a high school runner you watch, it's really cool to see, and you get to run at, you know, my worst of the two was actually at Terre Haute, but it was still cool to run that course after being, like, having seen it so many times. And then I'd say another one that I really enjoyed was kind of same thing. I just seen it so many times was the Mount Sac Relays.
Yeah.
The first time I went there, my freshman year of college, was really cool. Just because, you know, you see all these fast times, and obviously I wasn't even fast heat. I was running like the dead last heat of the 10K at like midnight on Thursday night in California, but still like be on the track and be a part of the meet.
Exactly. Now, so did you ever run at UF? I'm sure. In cross?
Yeah.
How do you like that course? That course was kind of brutal because in September.
Yeah, it's actually the SEC Championships my sophomore year. And that was a weird year for me. So I started out the season with a sinus infection. I had to drop out of my first meet.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a week later, there was a meet in South Carolina that some of our teammates were going to, but not all of us. So the guys who stayed back, we went to the lake for the weekend. And fell off a jet ski going like 55 and cracked 3 of my ribs. So I was having a rough season. So I was having a rough season, and so SECs comes around. I ran like Roy Briac, ran really slow. So my coach made me sit out in Wisconsin, just kind of train and try and heal my ribs. And then, I got to SEC Cross. It ended up being my best race of the year. I ran a PR out there. But we also ran in November, so, you know, it was warmer, but it was still only like in the 60s, I think, so not hot. But the course isn't too hilly either. I just say that, you know, that hairpin turn right there, kind of where you head into the finish, is kind of crazy. Because you're making that sharp turn, there's a pack of dudes, and you also have to go across the cart path there too, so you can kind of slip with your spikes on that. But I enjoyed the course for the most part, though.
Yeah, it's where was it? Towards the back. That was probably towards the mile mark. There was a pretty bad hill.
Oh, the gradual climb. You head back. Yeah.
I remember this year before I left my college team and decided not to run in college anymore, but I had to do a workout there. It was like 10 by 400 up the hill, just as hard as it could go, and it was terrible.
That's what broke the camel's back.
Yeah, that might have broken the camel's back. With that, coupled with my roommate getting back like 3 in the morning, we were leaving at like 4:30.
Oh my gosh.
And he was on the team too, but he wasn't running. He was just running the workout, so he went out. And we slept through the alarm. Coach left us. We had to drive there in his car by ourselves. An hour and a half. So we got there. Coach was not happy, though.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Hey, you still showed up, though.
Yeah, exactly. We got there. It just was a little late. Probably a half an hour late. So, and then I guess following up to that, one last question. What's the toughest course you guys have ever run? Any distance. Obviously, a track doesn't count.
Yeah, true. Toughest course.
I know, isn't CIM a pretty tough course?
Not the year I ran. The year I ran it, it was like that was my problem. I just felt amazing. I couldn't slow down. It was like I was like, oh wow, I'm running amazing. Like all I have to do is not screw this up. And then I would look and I was like, oh wow, 4:55 again. And then it'd be like I'd go up a hill and it'd be like 4:56. And I was like, what the heck? So I don't know what was going on, but I mean, I could see it being a tough course, but it was the weather was so perfect and. It's tough just because the first 10 miles are really hilly.
Yeah.
Now, you can run fast on them. They don't slow you down, but they beat you up a lot.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but I don't know. They're definitely not in my top toughest things. I don't know. Terre Haute is so hard because it's so weather dependent too. Like I ran one year where the year Edward Cheserek won his freshman year and beat Kennedy Kathuka, he ran like 30 flat and destroyed everyone, and it wasn't even 10,000 meters. It was like 9,800 because they had to move the start line up so much because of how bad the mud was. Yeah. So this is a world-class guy beating world-class people in 30-something minutes for like not even a 10K. Like that, I mean, at sea level, it's just a horrible place.
It was an awful morning on top of that too. Like now in the mud, like thankfully the rain and snow had stopped, but it was still like 25 degrees and windy that morning too. So it was like, you don't want to get out of your sweats. You want to stay as bundled up as you can. So yeah, you're trying to run, you're stuck in the mud and you're getting blasted by the wind and it's cold. It was awful.
Oh,
so it's kind of beat for that one because I don't know what it'd be like to run on it when it's not just muddy and freezing.
Yeah.
That's true, because I've run it at pre-nats before, and I really liked it. Like, a few months earlier, it was an 8K, and it was, like, a nice day. It was hard course, but it's, like, fair, It's reasonable, but it can just be so bad when stuff flares up.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, Sid, did you run Foot Locker Southland in high school?
I did, yeah, McAlpine.
That course is all right. Funny story for me there. The second mile is pretty tough. And the third mile is just kind of depressing because there's no one in the woods and you don't hear anything.
Yeah,
people are starting to walk sometimes. If they got beat up on the hill, they might be walking in the woods back there.
That's where we actually met the first time.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, my sophomore year, that's actually whenever I had my last surgery. Parker and I had dinner at the pre-meat pasta thing.
I was a senior, and he was a sophomore.
Parker, where are you from then originally?
I grew up in San Diego, but then in the middle of high school, I moved to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Texas. I was actually born in Texas, and then I moved back in the middle of high school. So that's why I Foot Locker South.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was brutal. I remember my senior year going there. I had been injured most of the year, and I came back, and I actually ended up PRing, but it took the first start. Someone fell in front of me. I fell over them and got trampled by about 60 people. Was bleeding out my knee, my face, and my back. Came back. When I come by the mile mark, my coach goes, "What the hell happened to you?"
The back one is like really concerning.
Yeah.
That means like a spike.
Yeah, a few spikes went on my back. And it was brutal, but I ended up PRing after missing like 3 months going into my senior year.
Dang, you were fit.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was probably fit to run about a minute faster.
Oh.
And it was brutal. Going up the hill with a busted up knee and not being able to see because there's blood dripping out of your face was pretty bad. But
it's like a trail running hill too.
Yeah, it's like so steep.
And then when you go down, it's
so narrow and that turn.
It's narrow. It's windy. It's basically
straight
down.
I don't know how people back in like 80th place run that.
Yeah, like I feel like I'd fall in that bomb.
I was in like 200, 300th place. And it was terrible. You just have to slow down so much on that hill, and it's awful.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the worst downhill I've ever had to deal with in a race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the toughest course. I mean, again, it could be my ribs, but there are so many hills in that thing. The Roy Griette course I thought was awful.
Where is that at?
It's at Minnesota.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've heard it's tough.
Yeah, and then I'd say another hard one is Alabama's home cross country course and stuff.
I've heard that stuff too.
Yeah, so I ran regionals there a few times, and we go to their mid-season meet, the Crimson Classic, a few times as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's pretty tough too.
And so I guess here my final question. This is from me. If someone's having a struggle with trying to stay committed to running and it's starting to feel monotonous, what would you tell them to keep going?
I bring it back to the NAIA girl kind of thing. Like, you gotta find something that excites you.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't. Maybe it's like, I mean, there's a reason why people do like the ultra running and the trail running and stuff, and it's like they just fell in love with it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it doesn't have to be that, but it's like you were doing half marathon stuff, and so maybe it feels monotonous. Like, well, I don't know. Even if you're not a miler, maybe like go training for the mile for a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I think like Sid was saying, and we were saying with that NAI girl, it's like if you want it bad enough, the only way, no one cares anymore at this age, like if you're good or not. Like, it has to come from you. Like, no one else is gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Even if you have a good situation, a good coach, it's got to come from you. So I would say, like, you're obviously or somebody is obviously passionate about running. Like, you just need to decide. You need to find a new goal. You know, even if it's like maybe qualifying for Boston, doing something like that. Like,
yeah.
That could be really cool. Or going to like the New York, going to those big marathons. I mean, that's why running pays to sponsor people, is because how many people love running marathons at those big venues that pay to run those marathons. Or like I said, maybe it's like, hey, I want to get back on the track and see what I can do for a 3K or an 800 or a mile. But you've got to find something that excites you.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. I'm trying to qualify for Boston right now, so.
There you go.
At the end of the year.
I don't know. That seems like all the stuff coming out of there already this week. It just seems like it's an amazing place to be during this time. So that would be really cool.
And Sid?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really add on that, because I think that's going to be, the biggest thing is you got to do it yourself. Like, I know for me, it's just competing. That's, like, if I wasn't racing and there's no way that I'd be doing the mile that I'm doing. I think, I don't even know if I'd run more than, like, 3 times a week if I didn't have that, like, competitive drive in me.
Yeah.
To do these races, and train for them, because that's what, the mornings when it's wet and cold and or snowing, or those nights I get off work late and I gotta go double at like 9 o'clock at night. I'm thinking about like, oh, I can just go to bed and like whatever, go home, eat.
Yeah.
But
no one's gonna know.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Brad's not gonna know.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I gotta think like, what's gonna be best for me? Am I gonna, do this shakeout for my legs that I, am trying to brush off that workout from this morning, or am I just, and be more prepared for this race, or am I just gonna, call it in and not do it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that has marked a very successful Q&A. Actually, this is the first one I've done, so it's super cool. It should go super well, and I'll tag everyone in it, obviously, along with you guys. It's been awesome to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks again for having us, man. It was great.